Man, we got a nice big stack today. Hopefully we can get through it. A lot of independent creators and stuff. So these are sadly these are books. A few of them are ones that I was supposed to read probably a year ago, and they got lost in my back pile of stuff, backlog of stuff I needed to read that just kept getting more and more stuff piled on top of it. I mean, right now I got 5 different stacks around me of comics that I gotta read, and that's just sad. I want to get through them. I don't know if I ever will because I'm gonna keep buying stuff, whether I like it or not. So every time I get a few books in, then another stack goes on top of it. But we're starting out with Awful Thoughts, Awful Thoughts horror stories. There's a one shot from written by Jeffrey Cotton and illustrated by Tom Cuthbert. Uh, this is got 6 different stories in it. Well done stories, some pretty graphic. Uh, all have their wonderful twist and interesting endings to them. Our first one is called A Baker's Dozen, where we have a character that's just starting out his day, has to kidnap a child. That's his job, apparently, every day. I know I laugh about this stuff, but you gotta laugh in order to deal with this stuff. It's got a messed up ending in this thing, as many do, but yeah, it's an interesting twist on that type of character. The second story is The Artist, where uh, some people go to a art viewing that just ends up being a pretty graphic style art viewing, and some things happen at the event, and they get to see some art being made in a unique way. We got Frog Baseball. That is, yeah, it's a messed up story. Just by that name alone, yes, you can imagine what's up with that. Terrible brat kids doing their things as kids do, and they find out they get a little payback in the end. Burst Soda. Now this storyline, the past couple months have introduced me to 2 different stories now, where people were drinking some weird green soda type thing, and ended up dealing with some type of parasitic event because of it. We got Hangout, whereas a father and daughter are just starting their day hanging out. I keep showing the end of the last story and the beginning of the first story. I quit doing that. They're hanging out, and he takes her to school, gets a little teary eyed, and you find out in the end why of what happens with the story in the long run. And then the last one we got is Gormore, where a kid just gets into the gore through his computer and falls a little too deep into the world that he enjoys. Yeah, those were very well done. Uh, I'm looking forward to more stuff from him, but we'll see what happens. I'm pretty sure I did that through a Kickstarter. We got some books from Winston Gamero, some way on Crimson Colored Comic Club, that has a bunch of other interesting books from his past that I had to get my hands on, and I really wanted to read them way back when. And like I said, they got lost. But we basically just see a character dealing with the world around him and things happening where you're kind of like being deleted from life, and things are happening to him and others that he knows, and it's just very interesting look on basically being left out of life as it is, kind of being deleted from life. But yeah, very interesting storyline there. Uh, we got Fox and Evil from Franco from Oh Yeah Comics. This is done by Franco and Atkinson, Zach Atkinson, which I believe I'm pretty sure he also helped out on Franco's LXT. Yep. Yeah, he was worked with Franco's LXT card game also. But this was really fun seeing this character. We basically get this fox character. And all the foxes are wily little troublesome little characters. But we see him just dealing with his life, dealing with other characters, kind of get a little Monkey King character in there. And while he's cleaning up things and dealing with them, there's someone. People are hunting a being that happened to cause some problems in the town, and now everybody's on the hunt for him. And when Fox is at home, he just happens to come across the character. He's in a crack in the wall, and he pops out, and then he just like Fox characters ends up finding out more about this character and helping him out, while at the same time the village is like, you're hiding what we're looking for, so we're gonna stick the Fox in jail and take him out and deal with that. And it's an interesting adventure with our characters throughout it. Our little black ghost-like character always helping the Fox out of trouble when he can, but the Fox is getting in trouble because of the ghost-like character. But yeah, we get to see their journey begin, and I am very curious where this goes. I hope we get to see another issue relatively soon. Not sure when did this come out last year, 2023. So yeah, we're definitely due for an issue 2 here pretty soon, boys and girls. At blindwolfstudios.com. I'll have to keep an eye out, see if issue 2 pops up anytime soon. But I love those characters. I want to know more. I want to follow them along on their journey. I want to hang out with them. This is the main reason I placed an order with Winston Gamero. He made a mention about Bioshock. I love that game, and I'm huge on Bioshock. I bought all 3 Bioshocks in digital form. Regular Xbox, the ones they had, Xbox 360. I bought probably 2 different versions of each one of the games. I can't remember if there was a director's cut style one set that came out or not. I don't think so. I don't think there was for Bioshock. Just like the Xbox greatest hits or something like that. But yeah, I've bought that game a few times. I love that game. I like jumping in once in a while. This is a fun way. He did No Happy Endings in Rapture. Wonderful little black and white book done up in the Bioshock world, and we basically get to see our characters trying to connect, trying to deal with what's happening in the Bioshock at what do you call it? Underwater city. Rapture. What do you call it? It's self-contained underwater living apparatus. I don't know. But just seeing our Big Daddy characters and stuff, just seeing this guy dealing with all the psychos and stuff that are running around the Bioshock world environment, and just seeing a different point of view of some characters in this world. Just, I mean, the world, if you ever play the game and you go down in the first time and you're looking into it and you look at the city and you just see how vastly huge this environment could be. They definitely left it open for a lot of possibilities, whether it be written works or more video game works or whatever. And sadly, we haven't seen nothing beyond the first 3 games. Uh, Not a big fan of. Can't think of the name of the third one, but I was first and second one I was more into. But yeah, I hope he maybe does another book in the future based on Rapture. Plays around with story a little bit more. Who knows? There's so much that he's been working on. I'm sure he's busy beyond that point. Not even thinking about something like that, but I'd love to see more of it. I would go for a nice thick trade of it. But we got also from Winston. Yeah, bro, we got Overflow. In the near dystopian future, a disgraced detective must prove her brother's innocence when he's framed for a war crime. In the process, she might save the world. But is it even worth saving? With everything, I keep forgetting to show these also got uh, little remarks in each one of these books, little images, sketches. But yeah, she's like trying to help her brother who's in prison because his mech or tank or whatever you want to call it, or like a mech, uh, ended up having this screen that showed a skeleton, a Day of the Dead style image on his screen, and then he lost control of his mech, and it ended up destroying something that it shouldn't have. And we find out that there's a hacker that's causing a bunch of other people to have problems. He's taking over other technologies and stuff, just basically hacking into anything that he needs to cause as much problem as possible. And I never even realized. You got the face on the cover, the eyes, the nose, the mouth, little skeleton there. Uh, I can't believe that didn't click in my head before. Uh, but yeah, it's interesting seeing her trying to deal with the authorities. Authorities trying to shut everybody down. People that were part of a certain hacking group dying in unusual ways, or ways that kind of make it seem like someone could have done it, but yet making it feel to regular society that it's all natural causes. But if you know all the people are related in some way, shape, or form and stuff, it's you imagine and higher powers basically controlling everything like usual. But yeah, this is a interesting story in that frame of thought. Yeah. Where's the first one? One before this. Okay. We got Sperm Wars. This is by. I like how this is an ash can edition, but it's normal size comic. It's like usually the ash cans are like tiny, like the Rapture one. Uh, Writer and creator Timothy Zaguirre, interior artist Bebe Reyes, and colorist Danny Harrell. Another person that we had on our Crimson Cult Comic Club a little while back. But yeah, you get to see your. Uh, well, this teaser comic doesn't have the words in it yet, but you get to see the narrator style character and then going into the story of everybody, all the sperm on a ship going down river uh, to sit there and battle it out for supremacy, see who can win the race. And we get to see this interesting little character, the sperm character that ends up dealing with all kinds of like these two twins uh, that are all trying to get in his way. He's got some special kind of abilities. Well, not abilities, but he's when he touches the one wizard sperm, the wizard sperm kind of sees like, hey, this character's a special character. We got to get him to the egg. And we see all these other parodied out sperms in the storyline. This was really fun. I picked it up. I found it. Even got a Stanley sperm. Uh, but that's the teaser book without the words. And then you got the regular book that has everything going on for us. And there's even some Scooby Doo style parody stuff going on in here. You got definitely get your good rounds of parodies. You got Jay and Silent Bob in here, Galactus. I mean, there is so much parody stuff in here. It's just so enjoyable, so well done. Uh, it cracked me up. The wizard and everything. It just the whole Lord of the Rings feel and everything that they did with this. I am so glad I met Danny, and I ended up finding out about this because I believe this was the thing I always asked the creators. What was like one of the first things that you got published? Did you just do a quick sketch that someone put in their comic book? Did you send a letter to the editor in a comic and get published that way or what? But pretty sure this is his first thing, Danny Harrell's, and he mentioned the Sperm Wars at two different covers. The main book. But yeah, I looked up, found it, got it. So happy I picked it up. I think it was for some type. I think he said it was something for like school teaching thing or something like that. Can't remember if that's where they gave him out or what it was, but yeah, yeah, it was definitely an interesting little find. That's what I love about having creators on our show, just finding all kinds of stuff I would have never came across before, and get to find out after we get to talk to them. This one, I have the original, I believe. Almost positive. I got a few of them, I thought. This is True Believers. Facsimile edition, or whatever you call it, of an old comic brought back to life. And this is Star Wars Droids issue 1. And it's a really fun story about basically R2D2, C3PO looking for their new master. They come across this kid that's collecting junk out in the middle of nowhere. And he has the robots help him out, and they don't find their master that they're looking for. He's not where he's supposed to be. So they sit there and hang with this kid. The kid takes him back, has them help him with dealing with some heavy stuff, and then shows him this X1 box that he has, and C3PO and R2 kind of look at it. C3PO explains that it's one of the X1 robots, and they try to get it operating and open. They couldn't. Kid kicks the box, and all of a sudden it activates. It's pretty low on power, but once they get it activated, the guy that's kind of running things that has his own evil robot that he's punishing all the regular townsfolk with. You see this robot that he's basically using to basically give himself an overuse of his powers, as everybody tends to do that are in charge of things. But again, we get like our wizard character in the storyline also. But yeah, eventually the two robots battle it out, deal with each other. We get to see what happens with the head of that city and what happens with our kid and our droids. But yeah, these are enjoyable stories. I've read those in the past, but yeah, I got to come across mine. See which ones I have. I can't remember, but lots of fun. Then we got our final one is Tales from Town City, two different covers. These are wonderful stories also. By they're by You got three different stories. Tinfoiled Hypnotism is the first story. Brandon Ingram, who we got to talk to, and Juan Ramira, and Nikki Powers, Helen Bolton. That looks like all the characters that were part of these three stories. But Tinfoiled Hypnotism, I love this story. He dread like Brandon Ingram when he goes to cons will dress up like Tinfoil Hat Man. And we got our characters on the back here doing the old Batman climbing up the side of a building thing, which in real Batman they're actually doing it like that, but in the Batman 66, their ropes snapping on them. Our two characters are dumpster diving. They come across a couple of coupons for some canned yams and some tinfoil, but the coupons are expired, and our character's wanting a new tinfoil hat anyways, because his is getting weak on powers. It's pretty beat up. So he's like, well, let's go. I'll use my hypnotic powers, and we'll end up making the clerk think that the coupons didn't expire, and you get to see what they deal with when they're trying to get those products from the clerk. Then we got Making Sense of Names, where we have this mortician that's putting people into the furnace that he gets pretty much on a regular basis and is told to burn them up right away. And he kind of like just takes a interesting perspective and interesting look at the different people's names and why they're there and how they died or whatever. And it was very enjoyable, uh, very interesting and unique. Then we got Fierce Pets, which is Fierce P.E.T.S, which stands for Precise Ecosystematic Tactical Squad. Now we got our character. It's getting all superheroed up, and we get to see him go off to work. Oh, he's not. He's superheroing down, I should say. He's taking his mask off for the day and getting ready to go off to his regular job. And his dog just so happens to have the mask on him. And once his owner's gone, the dog gets on the bark phone, gets a hold of the cat. They team up, go off, and deal with an environment where animals are being captured and sold, and you can imagine what their tortures and what's going to happen to them. So our characters basically come in to break them out, and once they do, we have uh, other characters that come to join in and help out on the way. A flying squirrel, a sloth, a walrus, a snake. We got a little gang of I don't know why they're wearing masks. And you know what they are. It's not like they're specialty animals. But yeah, it gives them more character, definitely. But yeah, you can imagine what they're gonna do to try and help the animals, and what's gonna happen throughout the storyline, and what's gonna happen in the end with the owner. of the dog. And yeah, these are just very well done, very enjoyable. We did talk about them on Crunch Comic Club also back in the day. If you want to check out the Brandon Ingram episode, creator episode, and you can find out some of the other members of the comic club, their point of view, and you can get to hear from Brandon himself talk about his comics. But yeah, that was a fun stack. I thought it was going to go longer than that, but I forgot that there was duplicates in there for some of those. But yeah, wanted to get a couple episodes out after weed whacking while I was cooling down, and now it's time to get back to work, do more stuff. So check those out. Anything that interests you, I will put links in the show notes for some of the creators and stuff, as long as I can find them all. I will try and get information in there for the show notes, and then you can search them yourself and check out their writings, creations, their artwork, all their goodies. I feel like I need to go through every one of those creators again and go back through their history and see if there's any new stuff they put out that I'm missing out on. So definitely want to keep up with all those creators. I've enjoyed all their work, most of their work. The work that I've checked out, I've enjoyed. But yeah, that's it for this round. So keep following Under Call of MS. Rate, review, subscribe, tell a friend, give us likes. Check out Crimson Color Comic Club. And I will get back with more fun soon.